Welcome into Texans Today, everybody. I am your host, Jeremy Chuggs, and oh my God, it can never be an easy game for us, guys. It can never be an easy game for us. The Texans, on paper, should have absolutely boat raced this Titans team, and in the second half, they did outplay the Tennessee Titans, but man, they had to make us sweat. They had to make us sweat. They couldn't make it easy on us whatsoever. How many times is this Texans team going to try to give me a heart attack this season? Trick question, because it's every single game. You know what they say? A win's a win. And you got it. You got the win here in NFL Week 11. You needed to get a dub, and you pulled out the victory. Maybe you shouldn't have won this game, this, that, or the other. But regardless of all that, you still found a way to get a victory. Even though you didn't play a great game, first half it was atrocious, you found a way. And that's what this team's going to do all year long. And I'm going to keep on bringing you live watch parties, Texans news, Texans analysis, the latest Texans news and rumors, 100% for free. So go down, hit that sub button. I told everybody during our live show, this Texans channel was bottom 10 in all of chat sports in terms of new subscribers last month. Let's change that. If you're brand new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Daily Texans videos all year long. And, I'm a competitive person. I don't want to finish last. So help me out and show that Texans fans represent here and hit that subscribe button. It's 100% free, so you have basically nothing to lose. All right, let's talk about my biggest takeaways from this game. Team came out flat. The first takeaway is the team came out flat, and I told you all week long I was worried about this Texans squad. I was worried how this Texans team was going to, play a team below them, right? And they showed us they're going to play up and play down to their competition. They showed us that today up against the Tennessee Titans. Obviously, I'm happy we got the win. For the first time this season, we don't have a losing record. But these were the reasons why I thought I would be worried in this game, and I said it all week. It was a trap game. And it was. The Texans were looking ahead to their next opponent. They play the Bills on Thursday Night Football. I will be live for that game. The injuries, they were piling up for this Texans squad. And the final reason was, I thought, people were forgetting how good of a quarterback C.J. Stroud really is. But at the end of the day, this team, they just showed up flat. They gave you nothing in that first half. You were down 3-0 to start this game. And I know if you watched our live show, if you were here in the live chat, a lot of people were not happy with this Texans team in the first half. The cardiac Texans strike again. And if that first half pissed you off, because we all know the Texans are a better squad than the Titans. They have a better team on paper. In no way, shape, or form should the Texans be losing to the Tennessee Titans, even with a backup quarterback in Davis Mills. But they found a way in the first half to be down 3-0. You got to the 1-yard line. You couldn't score. Let me know down in the chat. Actually, let me know by liking the video. Did that first half piss you off when the Texans were down 3-0? Because it absolutely made me want to tear my hair out. I was so upset with this team in the first half because, like I said, you're a better team. And this was a must-win game for this Texans squad if they wanted to get back in the playoff race, which they did. But they were going to make you sweat it out like they always do. Number two, the O-line is still a problem. This offensive line still is a problem, and maybe it was due to the fact that the Titans had Jeffrey Simmons, one of the best defensive tackles, back for the first time in multiple weeks. He sat out. The Titans had a bye week this past week, but the game prior he had sat out. Back in the lineup, and this Texans O-line did not show up and did not meet the caliber of what we all thought it was going to be. We got what we wanted. Texans fans said, hey, can we get Trent Brown at right tackle, Titus Howard at right guard? We got that. Titus Howard had multiple penalties. Trent Brown had multiple penalties. Multiple stunts really confused the interior of this offensive line with Jake Andrews. Jarrett Patterson started at left guard. Erstry got beat a couple times. It's just all around. The O-line played a C-plus game. Maybe I'm giving too much to them saying it's a C-plus. It was a very below-average game by this Texans offensive line. And I don't know if they need to change out the center position. I don't know if they need Juice Scruggs in at left guard. If Titus Howard should stay at tackle because that's his better position. Trent Brown looked very slow getting off the line on multiple occasions. But we still haven't figured it out. This Texans team cannot figure out the offensive line to save their life, to save their quarterback's life, because partly why, you got C.J. Stroud out multiple weeks because he had to, run for his life, didn't slide, and ended up getting in concussion protocol. But I want to know from you, because I've been in conversations with multiple people online, on X, this, that, and the other, and everybody thinks it's somebody else. Everybody playing the blame game. They shoot fingers at everybody else. Let me know who you think the weakest link is on this Texans offensive line. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. Sorry, just had to say that. Let me know. Who do you think the weakest link on this offensive line is? Is it Jake Andrews at center? Is it the left guard spot with whoever's in there, with Jarrett Patterson, Juice Scruggs, Laken Tomlinson? Is it right tackle with Trent Brown or Titus Howard? Let me know, who do you think the weakest link on this offensive line is? I'm interested to see the answers that y'all have down below in the comments section. Next up, for my takeaways, this team is awful at challenges, and the coaching staff just does things that just absolutely, they're mind-boggling sometimes. Like one, D'Amico Ryans challenges a play where, Christian Kirk, he catches the ball in the corner of the end zone and, near the front pylon, not the corner, more like between the two pylons on the edge of the end zone, clearly drops it as he's going out of bounds, and they call it incomplete. Why are we challenging that, D'Amico? You need clear and obvious that it's going the other way to prove that what happened on the field didn't happen, that it should be reversed. In no way do you see that play by Christian Kirk and go, yeah, that's clear and obvious a catch. No. Why are we challenging those plays? And beyond that, the coaching staff, what pisses me off more than anything, getting the play in with 5 seconds left on the play clock. How many times are we going to call a play and the line gets set with less than 8 seconds left on the play clock? That's what happened on the Texans' first drive. They got it down to the 1 yard line, 4th and goal. And you get up to the line with 4 seconds left. I mean, you're not going to get a touchdown on that play. You already wasted a timeout. Why not call another one? And this shit will slide against the Titans. We'll allow it. They're going to get a dub. They're going to win. But when you play the Bills next, you're not going to win if you do that. When you play the Colts, when you play the Chiefs, you're not going to win with those boneheaded mistakes. So I don't know if it's D'Amico. I don't know if it's Nick Caley. Somebody's got to pull their head out of their ass and say, hey, we need to get the play call in. How many times are we going to wait and see the line get up there, get a delay of game, get, where the defense, they see the play clock. They know as soon as it hits 0, I'm sprinting. And that's what happened on that 4th and goal. You couldn't use a hard count. You couldn't do anything. Davis Mills couldn't even read the defense. He literally got up there as soon as they got down, called hike. Sacked. It's just boneheaded mistakes. But I told myself I'd be happy after this win, and I am happy. It's just some of those things. It's just head scratching. That's why the Texans keep on, making these dumb mistakes and eking out a victory that they should have had handily. Now, I have some more takeaways in just a moment, but couldn't do today's show if it wasn't for our amazing sponsor over at Prize Picks. Get started today with America's #1 fantasy sports app out there. The weather, it might be a changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So keep the season rolling on Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. The hard-hitting football action is even better with our sponsor, Prize Picks. It's super simple to play. Just pick more or less on two-player stats. If you get your picks right, you can cash in. Prize Picks is the best way to get football action in more than 40 states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. And, I had some fun today, and my lineup was very close. I thought if they were going to challenge any play, it should have been the Jaden Higgins catch where he dove for the end zone. They didn't end up doing it, and it kind of screwed my prize picks. It doesn't matter because Woody Marks, I don't believe, hit the rushing yards that I needed, but I still had fun watching this game and following my prize picks lineup. You can too with our friends over at Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's program. All right, next up, the defense coming in clutch, as they always do. I mean, how many times is it going to be where the defense, comes in clutch and really helps this Texans offense in the second half? And I know what you're probably saying. Well, Jeremy, they led a game-winning drive, and I was talking with everybody in the Chat Sports studios. No clue why the Titans didn't go for two there. I mean, I guess it didn't matter at the end of the day because the Texans got a field goal to win it at the very end. But you're 1-8, Tennessee. Why are we not going for that? I'm okay with it because I thought it gave the Texans a little bit better chance at the end to win that game because a little less pressure because, if anything, you're just going to overtime. But, the defense, they stepped up in a big way. Will Anderson Jr. got a strip sack and a fumble recovery. My DPOY candidate for the Houston Texans, Will Anderson Jr., is proving that another smart decision by me. I said 51 would be the best player on this Texans team by the end of the year. It's looking like that is the case. Danielle Hunter continues to turn back the clock. 1.5 sacks today. 3 quarterback hits. He looked fantastic. Somebody else who made me look like a very smart man. I said earlier this week, one of the players that deserves more playing time on this defense is Tommy Togai. He showed out. He looked awesome for this Texans squad. Really proud of him and how he's played so far this year. A reason why he got an extension earlier this season. He looked really good for this Texans defense. Now, going back to Will Anderson Jr., to Danielle Hunter, quick question for you because I was actually just arguing with our Broncos host because he said they have the best edge duo in the NFL. I said, no. It's Will Anderson Jr. and it's Danielle Hunter. They're the best edge duo in the NFL. Let me know your thoughts. Do you agree with me or am I being biased? Am I being a homer by saying Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. are the best edge duo in the NFL? Let me know down in the comment section. Give me a yes. Give me a no. Give me your thoughts down below because, maybe I am a homer, but I truly do believe they are the best edge rush duo that the league has to offer. Lastly, not a surprise here. You got to play better on Thursday Night Football. If you want to win, you can't play like you did, right? You can't go out there and play like you did in Week 11 up against the Tennessee Titans because you eked out a victory against the worst team in the National Football League. If the year ended right now, they would hold the number 1 pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. It just wasn't good enough. We got to win, but it wasn't to the standard that this team can play and should play on a week-to-week basis. And now you're in a short week. Yes, it's a home game, so that is a little bit of an advantage that you have there. But if you're going to beat the Buffalo Bills, they're not going to put up 13 points with Josh Allen. Maybe they will. Maybe the defense plays another lights-out game. But I wouldn't bank on this Bills team only putting up 13 points. You got to be able to score. You got to be able to, convert when you're in enemy territory, when you're in the red zone, get touchdowns, and when you're in enemy territory between the, 35 to 20-yard line, be able to get those field goals. Don't get sacked and get kicked out of field goal range. But you have 3 massive games in a row. You're sitting at 5-5. You're at 500. You play the Bills on Thursday, then you play at the Colts, and then you play at the Chiefs. This is the make or break time in this Texans season. You got to win out of these next 4 games. At least 2 of them, right? If you lose 3, that's 8 losses on the season. I don't think you're making the playoffs at that point. You got to win at least 2 of these next 4 games, if not 3 of them, to find a way to get into the playoffs. And with how the Texans played today, that's not going to be good enough to win it. And what we're all going to turn to, what all of Houston and Texans fans will be looking at for the rest of this week is the injury status of CJ Stroud. And for that, I will make sure I keep you the most up-to-date out of any channel here on YouTube on what's going on with CJ Stroud, whether he'll play on Thursday or whether he'll still be in concussion protocol. So don't miss a second of Texans football. Make sure to hit that sub button, and hopefully this is the start of a winning streak and the Texans can shock the world and start 0-3 and still make the playoffs for the second time since the year 2000, the only team since the year 2000 to do so.